So the last class we were discussing with respect to the symbolic data and how do we represent the symbolic data and what are the different operations which we can do onto the symbolic data with respect to set operations and all we have seen. Okay. So, sorry students, they have come for cleaning here. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue. So we were discussing. So from beginning when we start, we have seen discuss with respect to how do we have seen with respect to the Lisp syntax, and then we have seen how do we work with respect to procedures, how different ways we can define the procedures, as well as how we can pass the arguments and call it different ways. After that, we started discussing with respect to the data part, and we have seen how we can represent the data. If you are having more than one data, how do we represent? That is by using list, we can represent, or sequence of cons, we can represent. And in that also, if you are having multiple, how do we represent it in the tree format? That is multiple list coming into picture, then we can call it to be as the tree, how it is being represented. And when we are dealing with these type of data, what are the different procedures which how do we write the procedures to deal with these type of data. So we have discussed all these things, and the last topic which we were discussing was the symbolic data, that is how do we represent the character as well as the array of characters, how do we represent it, and what are the different procedures related to the that is the supporting primitive procedures which are related to the symbolic data, and where the what are the different applications where we will be using the character. We have discussed with respect to all these things in the last previous few classes, right? So moving on with the next representation, that is multiple representations for abstract data. So abstract data, that is nothing but it's a data itself. So there are chances that the same thing will be having multiple representations. For example, if you take up with respect to the complex number itself. So when we say the complex number can be represented in term with respect to rectangular form or with respect to polar form. So rectangular form is which will be in the way of real part and the imaginary part. That is mathematically when you say it will be with respect to x plus iy format, right? How about the polar form? Mathematically, how do we represent the polar form?
R into cos theta plus I sin theta.
One second, let me increase the volume. I'm not able to hear you guys. Somebody was telling, can you repeat?
R into cos theta plus I sin theta.
R into cos theta plus I sin theta, right? That is with respect to magnitude and the angle. Right. Very bad handwriting. Sin theta. Okay. So when we say the complex number itself, we are having two different ways of representation itself. So this either in the rectangular form or with respect to the polar form. But when we are representing this as a data, that is when we are passing this as a data, how do we pass it? Especially in the Lisp language and all. or in any other languages also, when you are passing it, if you are passing it as a, when you are defining any functions required, we will be writing, say for example, any arithmetic operations we are doing, adding of two complex numbers. What do we do? If it is in the rectangular form, you will be passing the x1 value, x2 value, y1 value, y2 value, and you will be adding it up. Similarly, if it is in the polar form, you will be passing both the magnitudes and the angles, and magnitudes will be multiplied, angles will be added. Hope I'm correct. Yeah. Right. But when you're passing it as a data, you will be passing either only the real part or only the imaginary part, or magnitude or angle. Right. But that is, if I write it in the form of list, how it will be written? It will be written to be as, say you have 3 plus 4i. 3 plus 4i means, how do we represent? We will be writing it to be as 3, 4, right? This will be the only way of telling that this is our complex number, right? But by seeing this values 3 and 4, you will not be understanding whether it is in the rectangular form or it is in the polar form, right? Just by seeing this values 3 and 4, we can't identify that. So this is what we are going to discuss about. If you are having any data which has multiple representations, then how do we define the procedures? What are the things which we have to take care of? Hope it is clear. So this is what we the abstraction part. If you see, if you are taking up the complex number, we have the complex number represented either as the rectangular representation, or we can go ahead with the polar representation. And when we take up with what are the different operations which we can do on the complex numbers? Any arithmetic operations, if you take up, we will be having the arithmetic operations like add complex numbers, subtract complex number, multiply complex number, or division of complex numbers, right? We can use these package, that is arithmetic package, for any other purpose, right? So let's see further. So how do we define the procedures and what are the formulas? Let us discuss. So when we take up with respect to the rectangular representation, as I have said, if you are having any addition of two operations when you are taking up, we will be adding the real parts. That is Z1 and Z2 are the real values. If you are taking, we will be defining a procedure called real part, just to extract the real part of your complex number. Similarly, imaginary part, if you are taking up both the complex numbers which are represented to be as Z1 and Z2, we need only the imaginary part of your content. So we will be defining another procedure called imaginary part, where we will be extracting only the second part of it. So that means when we say a complex number will be having two parts. One will be the real part. The other one will be the imaginary part. So real part, 3 is the real part, 4 is the imaginary part. Or we can consider 3 to be as the magnitude, 4 to be as the angle. Anyway, it can be considered. So when you take up with respect to the polar representation, if you are having two complex numbers, what do? We will be defining the selectors called magnitude and the angle. If you are going with respect to the addition of two polar representation of complex numbers, then we can say that the magnitude which will be extracting the first portion of the complex number, angle which will be extracting the second part of it. So now, if your input is given in polar form, and that is, if your input given is in the polar form, and if you have to convert it, that is, one complex number is in the polar form, the other one is in the rectangular form, then we need to do some sort of conversions. So we have the formulas, mathematical formulas we have. So if your given input is in the polar representation, and if you have to convert to complex rectangular form, that is, we have to find the x and y values of it. So what will be the formula which we can apply is magnitude multiplied by cos of a value, which will be giving us the real part of it. Similarly, if you want the imaginary value, it will be nothing but the magnitude multiplied by sine of theta. That is sine of angle value. If you take, you will get the imaginary part of that complex number. So this is the formula which we can apply. Similarly, if your given input is in the rectangular representation, then if you have to calculate, if you have to represent in the polar form, then what we have to do? The formula which we have is to calculate the magnitude, the formula used will be square root of x square plus y square. If you have to calculate the angle, we can say it to be as tan inverse of y comma x. There is a built-in function, the primitive procedures we have, which is considered to be as arctan. This is nothing but tan inverse. Okay. So to calculate the angle, we can make use of the formula, mathematical formula will be tan inverse of y comma x, where we can say it to be as the function will be arctan. Okay. So keeping that, if we just define this complex numbers, if you are applying the arithmetic operations, if you are defining the procedures, how we can define adding of two complex numbers. So the arguments which we will be passing will be nothing but Z1, which is considered to be as either it will be in the rectangular form representation or polar form representation. We are not bothered about right now. Whichever representation we are just assuming that both the representations are of the same form. Z1 and Z2 are of the same form. Keeping that in mind, we have just defined it, saying that so Z1 will be nothing but you will be having two values. One will be the real part or real and imaginary value, or it will be magnitude and angle value. So Z1 will be something like this. Z2 will be something like 7 and 9. So two values you will be having. So now if you have to add the real part, then which we are assuming that the first value will be considered to be as the real part. So x plus iy is the representation. So x is the starting value. Y is the second value. So how do we add these two contents? We have to extract the value 3 and 7. How do we extract it? So we are making use of the real part, which will be helping us extract the starting part of it. So that means you can just imagine what would have been the real part. So real part would have been defined to be as define real part. You will be having here we have only single argument. That means we are just passing one complex number. So real part, I'm just writing it in the short form, RP I'm writing, where I'm just expecting one complex number C. So I have to extract only the real part of it. So I can just say which will be car of C. Car of C will help us retrieve the starting part, the first value of it. Similarly, the imaginary part, which will be retrieving the second part of it, second value. So once it is done, so first we are extracting the first value. So 3 and 7 will be extracted. Those two are being added. Next, we are extracting 2 and 9 and we are adding those two contents. So the result will become the imaginary part. And once what will be our result? Our result will be in the form of same real part and the imaginary part. Or I can say it to be as it will be in the form of magnitude or angle form. So right now what I have assumed is I am assuming that all the values, whatever I am passing, it's in the rectangular form. So keeping that in mind, I have defined the procedure in this way. So make from real imaginary. So this procedure will help us construct the value back to the complex number form. So what would have been used in this make from real imaginary? It should be the constructor. So what will be the constructor which we can use? We would be using, we have only two values to be combined. So we will be using cons for combining these two values. Similarly, if you are seeing with respect to the subtract complex number, we have two values passed, subtraction of two complex numbers. So here also we have assumed that both Z1 and Z2 both are in the form of rectangular representation. So extracted the real part of the first complex number, extracted this real part of the second complex number, subtracted. So first complex number minus second complex number's real part. Similarly, imaginary part of the first complex number minus the imaginary part of the second complex number we have defined. And once it is done, we are having the real part result, we are having the imaginary part result. And this has to be represented, it has to be returned back as a single value. So how do we construct it back as a single value? We can use cons, that is the constructor. So for making, we have defined another procedure, make from real imaginary, which will be making use of the cons for constructing the real and the imaginary. So when we are defining the imaginary part, it would have been used the CDR portion of it. So now, so the point here is when we are doing the arithmetic operations, if you remember, adding of two complex numbers when we take up, it will be easy if your representation is in the rectangular form. So keeping that in mind, we have defined it like this. If it was in the polar form, adding of two complex numbers would have been little bit tricky. That is like a R value with cos and sine. All those things has to be sine theta value has to be applied. So it would have been little more. So it would be better if you are having for addition and subtraction. For simplification part, if it has been represented in the rectangular form, then this way you could have defined and we could have easily made use of it. So if your complex numbers were in the polar form representation, then you could use this formulas, and that is you could use this formulas and you can convert, calculate the x and y values, and then you could make use of this addition and subtraction. But the same thing, if your complex number is in the multiplication as well as the division part, if it is in the rectangular form, then what happens? You will be having the real part multiplied by real part of the first complex number multiplied by the imaginary real part of the second complex number. Then whenever you come across I square, it has to be replaced with -1, and the complex number part, that is the imaginary part, which will be nothing but the real part of first value with imaginary part of second complex number. So that it's a big formula. So better than that, what it would be, if you can define, if you can imagine that the complex number, if it is given in the polar form, then it will be easy for you to calculate. That is, just you can extract the magnitude multiply of the first complex number, which is nothing but the first value of the complex number. So multiplication of the magnitude part of the first complex number with the second complex number. And the second value will be nothing but it will be the angle. So whenever we go with multiplication of two angle values, which will be nothing but we will be applying addition of it. So we will be adding both the angles. So angles, which is the second part of our second data. So how do we extract the second data? Where we can apply the CDR of the complex number. And we can extract the second value, which is nothing but angle. And those two can be added. So and then once it is done, we can construct it back. So for constructing it back, we have to make use of the cons. So which has been defined it inside this procedure, make from magnitude angle. So from this procedure, that is, we have defined a procedure called make from magnitude angle, where we are constructing, we are expecting two arguments. The first one is nothing but the magnitude. The second one is the angle. and we are constructing it back. So cons of magnitude angle will be the body of it. So if you just imagine if you have defined the multiplication of two complex numbers, if it is in the rectangular form, it will be a bigger formula which you will be applying, right? So you can just imagine like x1 plus I by 1, x2 plus I by 2. So when you are doing the formula which you will be getting will be nothing but x1 x2 minus of y1 y2, that will be your real part. Imaginary part value will be nothing but x1 y1 plus x2 y1. So that instead of that big formula, this simple way you can just by applying one multiplication and one addition, you can easily get the multiplication result. But the only thing is, if it is in the rectangular form, you have to make use of the formula and you have to convert it to the polar form. Similar is the case with respect to the division of two complex numbers. So whenever you have a division of two complex numbers, it will be easy for us if it is in the polar form representation. So where you can directly divide the magnitude of the first complex number with the second complex number. That will become our magnitude value. When since it is the division part, we have to subtract both the angles. So angle 1, that is angle of first complex number, which will help us retrieve the second part of our data, that is the complex number, second part, which is nothing but the CDR, subtracted with the second angle of second complex number. So you will be having now magnitude part and you have the angle part. So two values you have. You can't return two values separately, one after the other. But as a result, what we want it to be represented as a single complex number, because these two values should be represented as a single data. So how we can construct it? We have to make use of the cons. So we have defined a procedure called make from magnitude angle, where we were using cons. So this is what I was just talking about. If your complex number was in the rectangular form, how you would have defined? We have made use of this real part where we had just had car of that complex number, so that you will be extracting. So you can just imagine the rectangle form, whatever you are passing, it will be nothing but 1, 2 if you say, which is nothing but mathematically when you write, it will be nothing but it will be written to be as 1 plus 2i. That is what we are assuming. We don't have to pass the I value and all, because whenever we are defining the procedures and all, we are not expecting the I value. I is it's in the mathematical representation. When it has been converted to the procedure part, we will not be passing this I value as such. So now if you want the imaginary part of the the complex number, that is the second value of our complex number. So we have to directly, you make use of the selector CDR of that complex number. So imaginary part, which is expecting one argument. So this argument is nothing but it is something like this. So it is expecting a complex number. So whenever we say a complex number, it will be combination of real part and imaginary part, since I am discussing with respect to the rectangular form. Now, if it is in the rectangular form and you wanted to make use of this magnitude, that is when if it is in the rectangular form and if you have to apply this multiplication operation, then what do? We will be calling this magnitude procedure. So what we have to do, we have to apply that formula, conversion formula should be applied. So what was the formula? It was nothing but square root of x square plus y square. So the same thing I have applied here. We have already defined the square root procedure, so directly using it. So square root, yeah.
Ma'am, it is CDR or CADR, ma'am, for imaginary part.
Imaginary part, it is CDR because we have only two values. So when we are, how do we construct it? If you have to construct it only two values, since we are having, we will make use of cons of 1, 2. So it is CDR.
While retrieving, then we will get a list, no, ma'am.
Why we have to get a list? It is not ending with a nil, right? We didn't write a list of 1, 2, right? When do we use list? If you are having more than 2 values, then you can go with a list. Here we have only 2 values, right? So why we have to go with list?
Okay. So
We
it
can
it
use
it is
cons.
returning a number only.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, ma'am. Confused.
since it is only 2 numbers, we can use cons. So that
Fine.
the number of if it is like list and all, you have to say like as you said, it should be car of CDR of. So two functions, two primitive functions you will be calling, right? That is not required no here.
Yes, ma'am. Since we are using cons, then CDR should be fine.
CDR is fine. We have to think of optimizing also, right? We should not how better way we can define it.
Ma'am. Yeah.
Because in complex number, there is no way you will be having more than 2 values.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So, okay. So now, so if it is in the rectangular form and when you have to go ahead with the multiplication or division part, division operation, then what do we do? We have to calculate the magnitude. So where we are not we have to apply the formula for it. So the formula what we have is square root of x square plus y square. So we can say that square root procedure which we have defined it in the initial classes. So that same procedure we are using. Square root procedure will be accepting a single argument as a value. So we have to pass only single value. So what should be our single value, which is nothing but x square plus y square. So we have to first extract the x value. So x value from the complex number. So how do I get the x value? For that I can make use of this real part procedure, which will extract the first value of our complex number, apply the square of it. Okay. Similarly, we can call this imaginary part, which will retrieve the second value of our complex number and apply the square of it. So y square. So now you are having x square value and y square value. So both the things we can add it. So that will be passed as the square root value as an argument for the square root value. So it returns this square root procedure would be applied and it returns the corresponding value to it. Similarly, if it is the angle, we have to apply this arctan. As I said, we have a built-in procedure called ATAN. So that will be applied. And ATAN where we need the where we were passing y by x, right? So y, which is nothing but the imaginary part. What I meant is it's y in the sense which is nothing but the second value of it. So y by x is the value which we will be passing. So we are taking the second part. So since we wanted the second part of it, we are calling the imaginary part of the complex number and the real part of the complex number. If you want to see the formula is something like this: tan inverse of y comma x. So first we have to pass the y value. Y is nothing but the second part of our complex number. X is nothing but the first part of our complex number. So we have a built-in procedure called ATAN, which is nothing but tan inverse function. So ATAN, we have to pass two arguments. So which will be the imaginary part and the real part of it. Once this is done, so we have written all the selectors. So I can say the real part, imaginary part, magnitude, angle. All these four procedures, whatever we have defined, are nothing but it's our selectors. From these two values, we are just selecting a part of it, a portion of it. Not both the entire complex number. It is either the first part or the second part of our complex number. So I can say that these four procedures, that is the real part, imaginary part, magnitude and angle. These four procedures, I can call it to be as the selectors. Because either it will be selecting the first part of our complex number or the second part of our complex number. Now, once it has been selected, we can apply any type of operation on it. And once it is done, we have to return the complex number itself. When we have to return a complex number, we have to construct it back. So we have to define the procedures for constructing the complex number. So these two will be considered to be as the constructors. So now when I have defined, I am assuming that my complex number is in the rectangular form representation. So once I have finished with the any of the operations, when I have to construct it back, since it is in the rectangular form, I'm expecting the values also to be in the rectangular form itself. So make from real imaginary, x is my real part and y is my imaginary part. So when I get x and y value, I can directly construct it. So cons of x, y. But now if it is in the magnitude and angle form, but your input was in the rectangular form, internally you have converted it, but when you are giving it back, how the values should be? It should be in the same rectangular form, right? So if you have applied the multiplication or division operation, you will be converting it to the polar form representation. You do the operations, you do the corresponding operations on it. And when you are giving the result back, it should be in the same rectangular form itself. So what we have to do, we have to reconstruct it back. That is, we have to apply the other formula. So that is nothing but it should be if you have to get the real value, we have to apply this r multiplied by cos theta. So which will be our x value, which is our real part. To get the imaginary part, what we can do, we can apply the magnitude, that is the r, which is our magnitude, multiplied with sine of angle. So sine, cos, a tan, all are primitive procedures. So this will be our imaginary part. So we are constructing it once again. We are reconstructing it back in the rectangular form representation itself. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? So here we are just explaining it with respect to a complex number format. In real time, if you take up, we have many things which can be represented in two forms. If you take with respect to distance, if you say distance also, in different countries, it will be represented in different forms. Distance, weights. In some countries, they will be telling it in terms of miles. In some countries, they will be telling it in terms of kilometers. So that means whenever you deal with such a scenarios, you should take care of what are the possible representations, what are the conversions which you have to apply. So if you are from India, you will be talking in terms of kilometers and all. If it is from other countries, you will be talking in terms of miles and all. So based on from which place you are taking it up, and based on which what applications you are working on, based on that you have to do the conversions and represent it back in the same format. How your input was in the same format, you have to represent it back. So for just to highlight about this application, we have just took this complex number as your example, as an example. Okay. So same way, if your complex number is in the polar representation, what will be the real part and the imaginary part and magnitude, whatever we have defined it with respect to our arithmetic operations, how it should be written. If your input was in the polar form representation, what will be the one? We can directly extract the magnitude. Since it is in the polar representation, magnitude and our angle will be directly, we can extract it by using the CAR and CDR, right? So magnitude procedure, which we want only the first value. That is, we will be applying the CAR of the complex number. Similarly, if you wanted the angle, we will be applying for angle. We could apply the second. We want to extract the second value of it. So we will be applying the CDR part of our CDR part of the angle. That is the second value of our complex number. But now, if you have to, your representation is in the polar form, your complex number is in the polar representation, but now you want to go ahead with addition operation or subtraction operation. Then what happens? We have to apply, we have defined the real, that is, we have defined the addition as well as the subtract operations with respect to the real part and the imaginary part. Then what we have to do? We have to apply the conversions. We have to apply the formula. So how do we apply the formula? If it is in the real form, that is the real part, what is the formula which that is your input, whatever you are given, the complex number, whatever you have given, it is in the polar form. And from this, you have to extract the real part. So what is the formula which you can apply is R cos theta. So that is what we have done here. Multiplication of magnitude of that complex number. Magnitude means which is nothing but car of that complex number multiplied by cos function, which is the primitive procedure, onto cos of angle. Angle is the user defined procedure where we are extracting the second value of the complex number, the CDR part. So multiplication of the magnitude, that is R cos theta, is the one which we are applying. So this will give us the real part of the that is the real part of that polar representation of the complex number. Similarly, if you wanted the imaginary part, we will be applying R multiplied by sine theta. So how do we, what are the supportive procedures which we can make use? Magnitude procedure, which will help us extract the first part of the complex number multiplied by the sine, which is the primitive procedure, multiplied, there is sine, what is the argument which we can pass is angle, the second value which we have to extract. So angle, which will be angle, which is the user defined procedure, which will extract the second value of that complex number, apply it onto the sine value. That result will be multiplied with magnitude, and that will be our imaginary value, which is nothing but y. So I can say that if your representation, complex number representation, is in the polar form, we can have the selectors like real part, imaginary part, magnitude, and angle. These four will be our selectors. And once it has been done, once the any of the operations are being done, what we have to do it? We have to represent it back as the complex number, right? So we have to construct it back. So these two procedures will be acting like the constructors of the complex number. So now, if it is in the polar form, we will be defining. We don't have to have any other things. No need to apply any formula. We are expecting the result in the magnitude and the angle. That was your input. The same thing we have to construct it back. So we can directly say cons of magnitude and the angle. But if your input is in the polar form and you have done the arithmetic operations like addition or subtraction, and you have to construct, you have to represent, you have to give away the result after doing the, applying this arithmetic operations, you have to give the result back in the polar form itself. So when it has to be constructed back, what we have to do, since your input was in the in real and imaginary form in that particular format, we have to construct it back to the magnitude and the angle. So how do we construct it? We make use of the cons. For this cons, the first value will be nothing but, we want the magnitude. So how do we get the magnitude? If it is in the rectangular form, which will be nothing but square root of x square plus y square. So that will be our first value. And the second value, which is nothing but, which is the angle. So what is the formula which we can apply for the angle, which is tan inverse of y by x. So which will be nothing but a tan function y and x are the two arguments which we have to pass. So if it is in the polar form representation, this is how we have to define. If it is in the rectangular form, those are These will be the set of supporting procedures which we have to use. But now, what is the real problem? When you are calling this multiply procedure or division of two complex numbers, and when we are passing it, when you say make from magnitude angle, will it be calling this one, that is this which is in the rectangular form representation, or should it call this procedure which is in the polar representation? So how it can make out? So it is not able to make out. If you, how we can check? The check is also, that is by seeing just the values, we will not be able to identify whether it is in the polar representation or in the rectangular representation. We are able to define based on whatever representation, we are able to define different set of selectors, different set of constructors. But when to call which one, that we are not able to tell it, right? Agree to that point? So now what we can do to solve such problem, what we have done is we have come up with the tagged data. What is this tagged data? Tagged data is nothing but, see how we were representing the complex number. We were representing the complex number, say 1, 2. Oh, sorry. When it was in the cons, I should have told dot over here, right? That was the thing. Okay. Sorry. We since it was in the cons, you should have we should have put a dot. Dot will be coming. All the complex numbers, whatever we have told, everywhere, the dot will be there. When we, yeah.
Ma'am, even though the function name is same, the arguments are different, right?
Arguments also 2 arguments, right?
No, but it is, this is for angle and those are for x and y.
Angle, magnitude, real part, imaginary part, those are selectors. Selectors in the sense, when you are doing multiply complex number, we are calling this, right? Extracting a portion of your complex number. That's why we are calling it to be as selectors. Whereas your make from magnitude angle, make from real imaginary, those are constructors. Why I am saying it is constructors? Because you are once again constructing it back to the complex number. See, when you
It is like instead of make from real image, we can put it as cons. That is that what you mean, ma'am? Like we
yeah,
are constructing cons.
Yeah, you can make use of cons. That is not an issue. My question is, say you are calling add complex 3279. Okay, this is how you are calling add complex number within bracket 32 is your Z1. As a value for Z2, you are passing 79. Agree? Now I have defined something like this. This is the definition of it. Okay. Now when I say 3279, when I'm calling this real part, okay, I have said real part. Will I be calling this real value, this procedure? Should I apply this procedure call, or should I apply this one? How can I make out?
Oh, yeah,
You're
ma'am.
getting my point.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this
Yeah.
is our main issue.
So that we have to change the function name. That also we can
If
do.
you
Ma'am.
change the function name also, then you have to, you will be defining 2 add complex numbers. One with one for polar representation, the other one for rectangular representation, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
But that then how the user will be knowing if you are you will be making it to be as a packages, right?
Correct, ma'am. Yeah.
So that time you can say same as the square root procedure. If I as per different purpose, I can't change the name of the square root procedure, right? SQRT is, it's like a built-in. I mean, it's like a standard form. So as and when I can't keep changing, right? So it will be easy or it will be helpful if it is one name given to it, whatever be the representation.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, cleared.
I think it's time. Okay, we'll continue with the tag data in tomorrow's class. Not tomorrow, day after tomorrow's class. So thank you, students. I'll stop with this.